Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to do the installation of one of our portable AC units. So like most of our AC units, we're going to cut these straps, and that's going to allow us to basically lift this box off. So there's a lot of parts and pieces that come with one of these portable AC units. I'm just going to go through them as I take them out here. This is the insert that goes into our window so we can connect and push our hot air outside. Some type of a hose inside of this bag. Might be our drain hose. We've got a small hardware bag, some screws and a bracket. We got some type of a screen. Our exhaust duct has some foam insulation. A long plastic tube. Looks like our installation instructions, the remote control, the use and care guide, and of course our 6-inch venting. Set all this to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over the instructions for this. I always like to go over the instructions just in case there have been any changes or modifications to this process. That way we can ensure that we are installing this unit properly. So I'll get back with you guys in about 5 minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and unwrap this thing. See exactly what it is we're going to be working with. So these units actually have 2 handles here. That's really all I'm trying to get to. I want to get to the handle so I can lift it off its base. Set it on its wheels. Now we can get rid of our base piece. There we go. We got our portable AC out. Go ahead and start getting everything set up so we can get it connected to the window. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach my exhaust duct. First step that it's showing me in the instructions. So we're going to put it in, turn it, twist it to lock it in place. That's going to hold it tight on here, and then this end's of course going to go to our window fitting. But we don't need that just yet. So I'm going to show you guys right now. This is the window insert. This is the piece that we actually connect the exhaust to so we can let the hot air exhaust outside. Right there is where we actually connect it, but it has this piece on the back. It's actually 2 separate pieces that we can slide to make fit different size windows. Now as you can see here, mine's going to have to be cut. Probably my back piece is going to have to be cut about halfway just to be able to fit it in the window. I'm going to set it right here on the seal. I'm going to bring my window down until it makes contact with the top here. Now you've got a hole here and a hole here, which we're going to drill two little holes out so that we can run screws to secure it to our window frame. And then we need at least that much on the end sticking out so that we can actually have it completely enclosed. That way the cold air that the AC unit's producing isn't running right back outside in that area. So we're going to have a completely enclosed window whenever we're done with it. I'm going to go ahead and put it this way. I think it's just going to be a better fit, secured in this way. So I know that I need to cut my back piece. I'm going to go ahead and cut it about halfway just to give myself plenty of room to play with, and then we'll get right back into what's next. Now, as you can see, I've got my trim piece cut, so it's not going to be blocking my opening any longer. So the next thing we got to do is we're going to have to get our foam strips out, so that whenever we place this inside the window, we got an airtight seal. So we're going to go to our foam pieces. Now, we don't need this piece yet, the big thick black one. We don't need that one yet. We're going to use our gray ones. And where I'm going to start, I'm going to put a piece across here and across here. So whenever I do my measurement here, I don't have to try to account for those. And I'm going to get this as tight as I can before I put my screws down. All right, so if we measure across here, there, and I'm going to trim a little bit off this other long piece because we also need these long pieces for the bottom and top of this. So now I'm going to remove my backing. I'm going to slide this on here, just like that. I'll do the same with this side. Take my backer off, slide this here to here. Now we can take this piece, set it up in my window. So that's tight right there. So while I'm holding it, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up these two screws to secure the two pieces together. Good deal. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a piece of foam across the top and the piece of foam across the bottom. Now this top actually has an angle, so I'm going to push this one as firmly into that angle. Make certain that we get a good airtight seal at the top. Here we go. Now whenever I set this back up and in here, should be a fairly snug fit. On that seal. Now I can go ahead and I can run my two screws in up here at the top. I always like to pre-drill my holes, probably not necessary since this is a vinyl window. If you have a wood window, you definitely want to. Sure that's down far enough. Gotcha. And then I'm going to go to my hardware bag. I'm going to take 2 of these screws out. So now that we have our insert installed, we can take this foam piece, the black foam piece, we're going to measure it out up here on the top. So I'm going to go to about here. And this not only helps keep the cold air inside and the hot air outside, or vice versa if you happen to be running the unit in wintertime, because these units do, some of them do come with heat pumps, and to get it tucked in good enough to get a good airtight seal up here, keep any little critters from coming in. So in your hardware bag, you're also going to find one of these little angle brackets. This angle bracket is our security. Once we've now opened up our window slightly down here at the bottom to prevent somebody from sliding the window all the way up and climbing in, we're going to take this angle bracket and we're going to set it right here as tight to the top of this window as we can. We're going to pre-drill a small hole. We're going to grab one of the screws out of our hardware bag and a Phillips head screwdriver, and we're just going to tighten a screw up inside of there. And that's going to lock this window inside the home to prevent any accidental, if a child lifts up the window, don't have to worry about that, or anybody in the outside isn't going to be able to come in. It's going to lock our window in place. All right, so before we connect our exhaust duct to the window, I wanted to point out the kit also comes, or the unit also comes with this little screen that we're going to put on here. It locks inside of this, and that's going to prevent any critters from getting into the home this way. There we go. We'll get to the hose in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and plug the unit in and test it out. Anytime prior to plugging one of these units in, I know we took most of the protective coverings off. Make certain that we remove any of this fine film that they put over our panels. That way we don't end up with any type of electrostatic discharge. Go. Power the unit on. I got it set to cool mode right now. I'm just going to let it run long enough. I want to hear the compressor kick on. I want to verify that we do have cold air. I can feel the temperature. Drop my temperature a little bit to try to expedite that process. I just heard my compressor kick on. Oh yeah, it's cooling. All right, so what parts did we not go over? So there's a few different accessories depending on your model. This one actually does have a heat pump, and you can run it as a dehumidifier. Back here on the back, this right here screws off to allow for dehumidification. You actually can attach a garden hose type fitting. Just make certain that they unplug this. The only time this needs to be connected is if they are actually running the dry mode on this appliance. If they are not running dry mode, this cap needs to be in place, that plug needs to be inserted. That way it's not continuously leaking out water during normal operation, because these units nowadays are designed to be energy efficient, so it keeps any water inside of it. Unlike older ACs that you used to continuously have that drainage, these newer ones will not have that continuous drainage, with the exception of heating. If we are going to use this unit to heat, you'll notice a cap down here on the bottom. The unit comes with another little hose, and this little hose actually connects directly down here. Make sure you pull the plug out. All of them do have little rubber insert plugs that we have to remove on them. You're going to remove that plug, and then we're actually going to connect this directly to our unit here. We're going to run the drain out this hole during heating, but that is the only time that we're going to have a line running off of this unit. During cooling, we want to keep that water inside of that unit to help that slinger blade throw the water up onto our condensing coil and help this thing be more energy efficient. The last thing I wanted to cover, since we're going over the hoses here in the back, anytime you remove one of these, you do need to put the plastic insert back in. Do not dispose of these to ensure that this unit does not leak. And you'll notice down here on the bottom it has one last cap that can be removed. That's whenever you're trying to drain the unit. You're done using it for a season, or you want to put it in storage for a short amount of time. You're going to unscrew this. It's going to allow any residual water inside of the unit to just drain out. You can put a collection pan down there if you want to collect the water and dump it outside, or you can roll the unit outside. Just take the cap off, pull the plug out, and let it drain out the rest of the water. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the use and care guide and whatever other promotional or literature came with the unit over to my consumer. If you guys have any other questions or concerns, by all means check us out at electroluxservicetips.com.